Morten Eriksen, who is our CEO and co-founder of Enonic, and he will present the latest updates from Content Studio since summer. So, Morten.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I will show you a bit about what we've been doing since summer. Okay, so just starting off with some of the features that are already released in Content Studio 3.1. So first of all is the version history widget. Got some major improvements. We had this widget for a long time, but with this version, we cleaned it up a lot. So we kind of grouping things by the date. And in addition to having the revisions, we also have all the kind of actions that's been done, like unpublished, published, or expired, or will be live later and stuff like that. So it's a good improvement to the history widgets. Next one is when you create some kind of content, like with Kjetil's example, he has lots of articles in one folder. So with this new feature, he can see instantly if the URL is already taken. So he can kind of see that before he saves. Earlier, you kind of had to save to see the problem. Now you see it right away. Also, some of you might have kind of accidentally renamed a content. That means changing the URL. So if you're changing the URL for one content in your tree, you might kind of be changing your URL structure for your half of your site, right? So it's fairly important that you have control of your URLs. So it's made it a bit more formal to change the URL. So you kind of has a pop-up and you don't accidentally change it if you're changing your title, for instance. So that's a few things that we released in Content Studio 3.1. And we also added some design fixes to ItemSets and OptionSets. So they are easier, more intuitive now. We're also working to improve the OptionSets more. That's coming. But we do kind of smaller improvements and we do larger. And for this autumn, we have been spending a lot of time on a feature called content layers. And Enonic next, so when is it coming? I can just say that we are about to kind of release just after New Year. There will be beta before Christmas. And I will show you what we've been doing here. First of all, you might have noticed that we released the project feature earlier this year, before summer. So it's possible to have to group your content in projects, and you can give access to different people to work in different projects. Now we kind of taken the next step on this, and we have added something called content layers, and that's actually a very requested feature. Previously, when you did multilingual content in Enonic XP, you basically had like parallel structures. But with this new feature called content layers, it's a more kind of inheritance model where all the content is kind of joined together. So if you have like your corporate content, you will be able to translate that to the English content, for instance. So I will show a demo of this, how it works. So let's just switch to my browser. Let's go. Yeah. So we're using the good old superhero blog. I'm pretty sure you've been, you've seen it before. But giving you a quick tour, it's a very simple site where you mainly have blog posts that are either like listed on the first page or they are in the featured blog post on the top here. All the blog posts are in the posts folder. And in addition to the blog posts, we also have categories. That's like a hierarchy here. Also, we have some authors. That's basically this site. Fairly simple. I also created a new blog post. You can see that it has status new. It's not published yet. And the rest of the site is published. So that's kind of our English superhero site. And I have created a layer for this because I want to translate this to Norwegian. So you can see that below the superhero project, there's a layer called Superhelt blog, and it's in Norwegian. So let's just switch to that. And now we see that I have just created this layer. So, so there's kind of nothing available here. It's all empty, basically, but you can see all the content from the top layer, the superhero blog. So we can see that we have all the English content. You can also see it's indicated with the EN here. You can see our new blog post is also here. It's indicated that it's new. So this small icon on the left here, it shows a small cloud. It means that it's inherited from the parent. So this content comes directly from the parent. So let's start by just localizing the new blog post. So I click localize. We want to change the name. So what happens now is that we're kind of making a new copy of the content, but it's still joined together in the background there. So we still kind of link to the parent content. New blog article. You can see we changed the URL. We might have another author, like the admin, or maybe some other categories for this Norwegian version. Her kommer teksten. So this is basically our Norwegian article. If we go back to the grid now, we can see that this article is still linked. We haven't marked this as ready, so it's in progress. And you can see it's not shaded anymore. So this content is now in this layer, and it's kind of living here. The next thing I will do is I can change this actually, so it's just call it article. Just starting to change my site a little. We can create a new blog post. So let's have a title for that, like and we want a author and some categories. Yeah. Text, and we also want an image. Yeah, let's see what we want to have here. We can do this one. So here we have it. It's the new blog post. If I switch to the grid again now, we can see that we have two. We have the folder and we have the two posts that are not shaded. And we can see that the one we created is not linked to the parent. So this is just living in the Norwegian layer. So this way you can inherit from the parent, you can translate, and you can also see the links between the content. If I have the layers widget there, you can see that this content was translated from this main content. And you can also have several levels of this. So you can have like a layer below this. So it gets a bit more complicated, and it's very important to kind of see the inheritance chain. Let's see here now. I will publish my site now. So I'll just publish the full site. And there's another feature that we are, it's actually done. It will be released together with the but you know that earlier when you had something in progress, you couldn't publish. You can see that we have these 3 content now that are in progress. But we have some new feature. We could exclude all the in progress features, contents, or we can choose to just mark them as ready. So it's a bit faster and easier to get things published as long as you have the rights to do it. So let's mark them as ready, and then we can publish. So there's some improvements coming to the publishing wizard. That's, let's see, yeah, back to the slides. Just a quick note about upgrading. We see that some of our clients are running older versions. So you should definitely know that if you are on the XP7 version, it's really quick to get to 7, 3, 4, 5, or 6. That's kind of part of the layers. And also, you will get the new Content Studio with a new upgrade. And it's also easy to upgrade to newer versions of Content Studio when you are on a specific version. Like if we release a fixed release or a feature release, you can actually upgrade from directly from market. But of course, this is something that the tech guys does. But you should definitely prioritize it. Also, if you are on XP6, then you should definitely get up to 7 as soon as possible. So, okay, I think that's it for me.
Thank you. We have a question from Malin. Have you thought of using layers to handle content for different devices? For example, websites versus app, or for content for different user groups with different permissions?
Yeah, interesting question. I would say it's for different devices. This is about like changing or making different versions of a content. So if you have like, it could be like for different segments or groups, like if you want to like enhance your content for a specific group, then you can have layers for that. For devices, not sure. That's more like maybe adapting the presentation more and not the content. So, but it can definitely be used for other things than translation. It can be used to enhance your content or sharing like a set of kind of corporate content can be shared throughout different subsites. So it's very many use cases for this feature, basically. So, and we will definitely talk more about that and maybe write some more about that.
Yes,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.